Talking about coaching, do you think what we're seeing from the Six Nations is because of the impact of the Kiwi coaches?
Oh, without a doubt. But in some ways, you've seen how they've had to adapt and change. And they've been dealing with pressure defences for a while now, JK. That's the interesting part. The outside-in defence, all of a sudden they've looked at different tactics, and Marshy showed a bit of it last week in terms of being back to go forward. They'll be prepared to do it, Kirsty. So for me, I look at it, the Kiwi coaches globally have had an effect. It looks as though in England and over in Europe, they've found a way to build different types of pressure, and we suffered last year, but when we played Ireland and France.
Two top coaches at the moment are French and English. France and Ireland.
OK, well, great analysis from you, great discussion and debate as well. We're going to continue with Six Nations because things got fired up over the weekend and there were plenty of Kiwis involved as well. Welcome back into the breakdown. We do hope you're enjoying the show. We very much enjoyed the weekend's action from Christchurch because it was the best game day experience you can get. You know why? We'll show you. This is why. This is a very, very happy Jeff Wilson. And no, this is not sponsored by KFC either. Jeff, tell us.
Guess who I'm looking at? I'm looking at Justin Marshall in the commentary booth, just going, this is what I've got to enjoy just before the second half. And at the same time, I was thinking about you, Sir John Coohan, how happy you would have been if you were there.
Love a bit of dirty. Love a bit of dirty.
So
what was in there? What was in there? Was it a six-piece pack?
No. It was just a simple piece of chicken and chips, but it was the right amount. It was just absolutely...
You didn't get anything, Kirst.
Oh, wait. Hold on. Don't you start accusing... Oh, there they are. Oh. There they are.
Obviously, this was on game time, was it?
No, this is half-time. This is at half-time. We're sitting there. That's Stephen Donald in the middle. Going left-handed. I'll tell you what, it was hard for...
They need to hand those out to the public, right?
Oh.
With your ticket, you also get half-time KFC.
Oh, good.
Honestly.
You get crowds back.
That was the best chicken and chips that I have had for a very, very long time. But we've got so much more to get stuck into. I do hope you bought a whistle, cards or something, because we know that JK is going to get stuck in here, JK.
Yep.
Get them ready.
Plenty of cards and plenty of action over the weekend.
Gonna save the problems.
Yes, exactly. Look, I keep saying it's about the rules and how we need to get rid of some and change some for me. And, you know, the red card on the weekend is just another moment where people are paying decent money and actually going to a game and it's being wrecked. You know, like Northern Hemisphere did not want that 20-minute thing, Ben, you know, and I just think it ruins a game of rugby. Rugby League has also done, you know, you're on report. And look, I've got a bit of a... When you come away from this, I've got my stick figure out again. And so...
We love a stick figure.
You got the card there.
There's a red card. And this is a remarkable... You think about the play, though. This is in the first minute of the game. Yeah. This is in the very first moment. And so, Pack and Save man is back.
So, Pack and Save guy is back. If you can just have a look here. Now, I want the TMOs, Ben, and when you can talk to them, mate, when you've got them in your ear, talk to them. I think we need to use the technology. Can you see that? Can you beam in on that? So my problem is, if you look behind, that guy should have been red carded because he was like this. He was upright, OK? Upright. But if you look from behind, from the TMO, if the guy is in that position, then there's no way he can hit high. The other guy has bent down to him. Is that difficult, Ben? I mean, how hard is that, mate?
I reckon you can pull
How hard is that?
I'm going to sit in a World Rugby meeting, I'm going to photocopy that, I'm going to take it to them, because that is inspirational. But no, but you're 100% correct, JK. Like that is, and so if we look at this clip here, you know, it's a red card. It's 2 minutes into one of the biggest games of the year, Six Nations. And as referees, so we're told, OK, how are we going to referee these types of tackles when a player isn't in a position to make a legitimate tackle, so they're not like your stick man, they're not bent at the hips, they don't have their arms up. So when they're upright, they've got to take the responsibility of their outcomes and their actions. And the outcome of that, there was direct contact to the head with force. There was no mitigation. So therefore, the referee has no other way but to give a red card. Now, that would have been a red card in the 78th minute. And unfortunately, it was the second minute in that game. Now, everyone's talking about how it was a great game, but it should have been a great game with 15 on 15. And that's my... It puts pressure on us because everyone blames us for ruining the spectacle, ruining the game. Yeah. That's just the laws at the moment.
So why do you take so long?
Why do we take so long? Because we need to go through a process, you know, and with the TMO, you got to find the process to actually make sure that, okay, we're 2 minutes into a game.
Here's the process, by the way.
We're 2 minutes into a game. We're going to look at JK's picture, and we've got to make a decision. Are we still going to give the red card? Now, that's going to take about 20 to 30 seconds, maybe a little bit longer.
Yeah.
But we've got to get it right for the game. Now, I agree. We do need to speed the game up, and I think the great thing we've been doing in Super Rugby is that we have been doing that. So there's been about, I think, up to the rounds now, there's been about just over 1 TMO intervention per game, or on average in New Zealand, where there's been about 3.5 in Australia. So already there's a difference, so we're already saving 4 minutes of rugby. So we're going in the right direction to speed the game up. But still, we need to work on, the outcomes of these decisions as referees.
Well, we're less than 18 months away till Rugby World Cup. You were part of the changes they made for the last Rugby World Cup. They brought in some of this process, some of these stipulations 6 weeks out. How have things changed between then and now going into this one? And is this what we should probably expect? What we've seen on the weekend, we saw yellow cards in Australia as well. Do you think this is going to be the process when we get to France next year?
I think it will be different. I think we all know that cards impact the game heavily. Like referees, we don't want to be in a spotlight. We don't want to impact the game, but we've got to referee the laws. Now, before 2019, we had a high tackle framework that came in 6 weeks out before a competition, a World Cup. So players didn't have time to adjust. Referees, we didn't really have time to, probably get that correct either. So, the first 3 rounds, I was involved in a few as well. There's a lot of controversy, and we shouldn't be having controversy in a World Cup. It should be about the players and the teams. Now, what's changed now? So we're 18 games away. We've got a high contact process now, which is slightly different, where we go through the points. Is there foul play? Is there head contact? If there is, how much force is there mitigation? So there's a lot more understanding around, okay, if the force isn't low, it doesn't always need to be a red card if there's contact to the head. Where a few years ago,
it's automatic.
If there's contact to the head, it was pretty much automatically a red card. So there's a shift there. There's better understanding from the referees. I think there's better technique. If you forget about the one this morning, from the players, they understand that better. So I do believe, by the time we get to the next World Cup, we're not going to drop, too many changes in, and we should all be better for it.
I can tell JK's loving this chat. He sits up a little bit taller when you're in here, but do you want to run past...
We've seen your picture. We've seen your picture enough.
Can you take that to the international?
You've got more ideas.
The next one I want you to take is 3 structure out. So I just want to show you this, and I'm pleased you did it. But the other night there was, if you watched the Chiefs versus
the Highlanders. We played you played the Highlanders, the Blues.
Right. So there was 5 different penalties at different time, and although I'm a Blues supporter, what I want to see is 3 structure out. So after 3 penalties for the defensive team in a row. Right, I understand why you did this, because there were 6 different penalties.
Sure.
But for me, after 3, if 3 strikes are out, I believe the players will regulate themselves, and you will have to do less reffing. Because he's blown up in the stand saying it's a yellow card, and I actually agreed with him.
I like that, because it's kind of like basketball, isn't it? 5 fouls and you're out. So then, players either get substituted or that player changes their behaviour. The current process right now is that if we have anything cynical, you might not need to be warned. If it's cynical, deliberate, you go off your feet after a breakaway, that might be a straight yellow card. But if we get inside the 22, you slow down the ball by going off your feet, by not rolling, by closing down space. Generally, if we get 3 of those in a row, that's when we'll give the warning and a yellow card. I agree with you. I think it would improve the game if we just went straight to a yellow card. But, we want to also get that balance between... There's generally about 20 penalties in a game, OK? We can't have 6 to 8 yellow cards in a game. So we've got to understand, OK, what's the relevance of those penalties? So, for example, 2 of those penalties were within the other attacking half.